Guys, we're on the Miami Made Show podcast going live.
Welcome.
2025. Angelo, we're
Bobby Radical.
Tommy Pooch.
Man, I avoided being made.
Stefan Morris.
Yes, sir.
One of the most dapper guys in nightlife. We're all hanging out. We've had an incredible day of shoot and interviews. Some of the top guys in Miami's nightlife. What's really cool about Miami is that you have a lot of new people in Miami, obviously, because, you know, the city evolves. But on social media platforms and podcasts, there's a lot of people talking about Miami, but they don't know Miami. They don't have the original people. They don't have the right guests. And they don't know the sources or the true story of Miami. So that's what the podcast is all about, setting the record straight. And today we're with Tommy and Stefan and all the cast that you've seen today, all the different leaders of different parts of Miami who contributed to Miami. And Tommy Pooch is someone that's been mentioned a lot today throughout the day with all the different interviews. Tommy, tell us a little bit about your story and how you got to Miami.
Well, you know, it's funny. I mentioned it earlier today. I had a nightclub in Manhattan, 1988 to 1992. I rented it out to Russell Simmons, and a guy shot a girl on the dance floor. And we're still buddies, me and Russell, but I moved immediately to South Beach. So in 1992, I came for the weekend. My mentor, Jerry Brandt, who owned the Ritz and the Electric Circus and on, he made me come here, and he said, "You'll never leave." And I said, "I would never live in Miami." He said, "Tommy, if you come, you're never going to leave." And the first night I wound up on the roof of the Century Hotel sitting next to Gianni Versace, dumb kid from Brooklyn. I was like, wow, 21 model agencies within 13 blocks. The next day I sold Spodioti from the News Cafe's phone booth. And it's 33 years here, and I did 33 years in New York. Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
What's one word you would describe Miami? One word.
Sexy.
Beautiful.
Stefan, what's one word you would describe Miami?
I already took sexy.
Miami is it's a special place, man. So the word that comes to mind, it's paradise.
Paradise.
Yeah.
So Tommy, we've been talking a lot about the 80s and the 90s. You got here in 92.
Yeah.
What was Miami like in 92?
I mean, it was just, you died and went to heaven to see hundreds of models walking back and forth on Ocean Drive with their portfolio under their arm, and there was no work for them, so they had to, they had to find a rich guy, and there was plenty of those. So yeah,
I was one of those models.
Yes,
but I wasn't looking for a rich guy.
yeah.
Clarify.
There was some MILFs too, but it was like nothing I ever saw before. It was just crazy that the ratio of men to women and
hot women,
the nightlife, the bohemian feel of just 5 a.m. liquor licenses. I mean, in New York City was 4 a.m. That 1 hour took you to the dark side. Even though it was just 1 hour more, it was like you just, became someone else when the lights went on.
You had a lot of venues that you were part of in developing and parties, very legendary parties and venues and dinner parties. I'll start with one in particular that I'll never forget, because the moment I walked in, everywhere I looked, here was Sting, here was, the Jim Brown, all these iconic people hanging out at your party. And I was like, and I already kind of knew you at the time. It's like early mid-90s, and I'll never forget, it was like a Tuesday night.
That might have been Cassis or the Astor Hotel.
Astor Hotel.
Yeah,
I walk in and I look around and I saw you hosting, and immediately I was like, I want to be like this guy. I want to be like this guy. Who is this guy, And we had already met a few times, and I'll never forget, because the way we met was he was walking up and down the street passing out flyers.
Yeah, I did that.
For his party. Mm-hmm. You don't see that today.
Yeah.
Like, he was hustling. And I'll never forget, I was so impressed later on when I figure out he's the guy of the party. Yeah. And it taught me such a quick lesson.
To be humble.
To be humble,
Yeah.
to hustle, and how to make it happen, right? And then I see him hosting these stars, and I was just like, I'll never forget, I walked in, I was just looking at him, I was like, that's what I want to do. And I ended up doing that, and I'll never forget, he was one of my first mentors. And I talked to a lot of people in nightlife, and that's the first thing they said, Tommy's my mentor. What do you think about that? Like, how do you see that when people?
That was already the 2000s. That was after Nikki Beach, the Astor Hotel. But before Nikki Beach,
Yeah, you started out with
because Tuesday at Cassis, and then Thursday at La Voile Rouge, and then Wednesday at the Forge, which became globally legendary. Wednesday lasted 13 years. Wednesday at the Forge, and then after Nikki Beach, I did the Delano after the Astor.
But we first met at Z Luigi's, so that was
Zia Luigi was my first.
Yeah.
First. Thank you, Sammy the Bull.
You
So
might have heard of it.
elaborate.
Well, before he did what he did.
Don't be shy.
Yeah, so Zia Luigi was JP and I.
JP Palavecchio.
Yeah, and Zia Luigi just crushed it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
Great restaurant.
They sold it right out from under me because it was such a big hit, which made me go start the Tuesday at Cassis. And
Francois Lapetit.
Yeah, but actually, after that, I did the Thursday night at Le Loft.
Le
which
Loft.
I had a nice long run
This is
there.
the
Yeah,
club.
that was pre-liquid.
Pre-liquid, correct.
Pascal, Jacques
And
Pascal.
Dunes was before or after? Dunes was before.
Way after, yeah. That
The Loft was one of the
92.
hottest spots in Miami. It's actually the actual venue, location, address of what Liquid became later. But prior to Liquid, Le Loft was probably the high-end party with the top stars, celebrities, and crowd of Miami.
Prince performed twice there for me for free, but it was also just Le Loft and Whiskey Bar and Spot. There was 3 places. That was it, and the Island Club.
Yeah.
But really, it was Randy Gerber and
It was Cindy Crawford's husband.
Cindy Crawford's husband, and the Spot was.
Yeah, that was the
Spot.
whiskey, right?
The Whiskey Bar. I did every Saturday night there. I just had so many one-nighters.
Yeah. And long-lasting, and I'll never forget, one of the iconic trademarks of Tommy Pooch's parties was you'd walk in, he'd have the best DJ, the best crowd, even, and actually, let me say this, on off nights, on a Tuesday or Wednesday.
They were always not. I didn't
and
do
packed.
Fridays and Saturdays.
Yeah, he wasn't the
That's
type that
amateur
would do the big weekend thing. He would do the really intimate, sexy, cool, talked about parties on off nights, which is, if you're in nightlife hospitality industry, you got to understand that's one of the biggest things to accomplish, because you're making money now, not just on the weekend, but you're making it during the week. And he was one of the ones who pioneered that.
Absolutely.
And created that.
I loved being able to help these employees, whether if it was a Tuesday night, they, from the bathroom attendant to the valet guys, they could pay their rent knowing every Tuesday night they were going to make bank.
Yeah, what was
And then
interesting.
Wednesday night and then Thursday night. And
What was interesting about those nights is, like, the people that go out on a Wednesday and Tuesday night, it's because they can.
And the locals, too.
We didn't have jobs.
The locals. It was all the who's who of nightlife, hospitality industry, and whatever professional career or, of income bracket. They were there hanging out on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Those were the best nights, in my opinion, versus the weekend.
I told club owners, you need to own a night. If you could own Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Thursday, it just, concierges can't lie. People come out of the elevator. It's Monday night. Where should I go? They got to send them to you, because otherwise they come back and say, why didn't you tell me about Tommy Pooch's Monday? So I was blessed that I didn't have to pay the concierges. I needed them to just tell the truth.
Yeah.
And they'll get tipped if they, on the way back, the customer will say, hey, man, that was great. Here's some money.
Yeah.
So I was lucky to, own the night.
And talking about nightlife things that most people don't know about, the concierge program that he's talking about was a unique thing that he partly created, which later on people in nightlife talk about. You got to create a concierge program. Well, Tommy was one of the first to do that, working with all the different concierge, all the different hotels, bringing in the tourism, mixing in the celebrities, mixing in the models, mixing in the crowd. That created that magic that we've been talking a lot about in the different podcasts.
More than that was the bookers. You had to have the bookers who control the models and where they go, and making sure that the models' parents trust them to send their kid to the right place where the promoter's going to look after their daughter.
Like Irene Marie or Michelle Palmier.
They were great to me, but it was the booker. You had to send them flowers, and you had to invite them to the dinner, even though they didn't look like the models, but you had to invite them.
Be political.
100%.
Exactly.
In the 90s, people were watching nightlife today. and they don't realize how special and magical it was at the time. There was no cell phones, right?
Yeah, no cell phones.
And it was very
few.
organic. You had a lot of celebrities.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about, not you see a lot of reality stars today and
No,
athletes,
there was
and God bless them. But back then, you Sting, Robert De Niro, Sean Penn, Stallone. Name some of those stars that you came across.
You can't not name any, but even Chaos, having Jack Nicholson on the dance floor and Kevin Costner, and it was just. They came, and luckily for me, they would call from the airport. What am I doing tonight, Pooch? I'd be like, yes, you're coming here. This is where you're going to be. And I was just lucky that I didn't expose them. I didn't call Page 6. They knew they were safe.
Exactly.
I
No
had Michael
paparazzi.
Bolton singing Happy Birthday to my mother every year on the phone. You can't get celebrities to do that these days unless they trust you.
That's one of the most known realities of Miami in hospitality industry, is because it's happened to me where I'll meet someone maybe after, but they already have a friendship with you, and the first thing they say, like the gentleman just said to you a little while ago, I know so-and-so, such famous, well-known person. They say Tommy Pooch is my friend. And I honor that, I respect that, I love that, and admire that about you, because people don't even have that today, because you had an actual relationship with them.
And almost everyone we interviewed today mentioned you in one way or another.
Well, that's nice. Most people have short memories.
No,
especially the club owners. They all have short memories.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the things we do with this and the documentaries and all the work that we do, me and Bobby, with the making of South Beach and Nightlife Empire and so forth, and the podcast now, is not only telling Miami and the world who are the real originals and the sources and the real actual people, but also what it takes to do that. Because John Turchin said, we leave here with our memories. And that's something you created, Tommy, memories with all of us.
Thank you.
And we love you, we respect you, honor you, and you're genuine. So real Miami people you represent Miami in such a good way. And all the old school people, we're a fraternity, we're a family, we honor, value that, but we also live it. Like we model after that modeling that you did for us of how to be a true, not only human, but representation of a city. Right?
Absolutely,
that
that's
you
key.
embraced.
Yeah.
I like to say you have to acknowledge your guests, and telling somebody how good they look and how's your daughter doing in school. They're like, what? You really care? And but you're on stage. You might need a couple of shots in the beginning of the night to deal with the bad breath of people looking for drink tickets. But you have to be on
That's
stage.
Miami.
You're on stage, man, and
It's a show.
Yeah, South Beach is known for drink tickets. Well, at least it used to. Yeah, now it's tough. It's like pulling teeth. But back in the day, if you're privileged, like everyone that's at his table, you go in, hey, give me my drink tickets, or you knew the staff and you didn't have to ask anything. You're just, and they knew you're drinking. You didn't have to order a drink. You just go up to the bar and they knew what you wanted, and bam,
there you are.
Yeah, I had people say, Tommy, can you come? Just watch my bar. Tell me what's going on. I'm like, that bartender's he's stealing like crazy, but he's great. They go, what? I go, he's great. Don't get rid of him.
Yeah.
Like what you just said.
Yeah, sometimes you have to give away the bar, but that draws the people in.
When he steals too much, then. But right now, that guy's great. You're gonna get somebody that don't steal, that has no personality. Just trust me. He's a keeper.
Yeah, most people don't understand what it takes to make a nightlife successful party or event or ambiance or energy.
It takes all day. It's a daytime business.
Yeah.
That creates the night.
And they don't realize that there is a full-time staff during the day for operations, so the can function at night.
And the hustle, the phone calls, the intimacy, the relationship with people. Nowadays, people just send a thing and they put it on social media, blah, blah, blah.
Lazy. It's lazy marketing.
You're a host. You're not a promoter. You're not doing anything.
That's why there's all this change now, because it feels like corporate clubbing. It's lost that personal relationship, especially with the locals. Different. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But back then, it was the club owners stayed out all night, after hour. Then the next morning, they said, or next afternoon, they said, did somebody open the door for the liquor delivery, I hope? It's like the daytime business, bro.
I remember doing guest lists. I'd have a piece of paper with all the phone numbers. You would memorize phone numbers. You had beepers.
You had to remember phone numbers.
And I would go down the list. And my guest list would do 100, 200, 300 people. Now people are getting paid to get 15 people through the door.
Yeah.
It's changed. They have no relationship. They have no bond.
And they have no understanding of the business, really. They just, they show up and, it's changed what the title is. People calling themselves a promoter when they're really just like a host, essentially.
A promoter is someone that builds a party, a night. He operates and he creates the revenue, the overall revenue. And then he builds the team to create the energy and the ambiance of the filler crowd.
And the marketing and the booking and the creative direction. There's a lot that goes into, organizing. And again, we're...
And news media, too.
100%. So essentially you're taking these four walls and you're creating experience that people jump through a lot of hoops and deal with door guys and all the challenges that we put them through to actually be there.
And Tommy would do it by himself.
Easier, but it was so much, exactly. In the 90s, my buddies would come from New York and I would give them a handful of invites and say, go walk around on the sand because it's topless. And they said, what? and next thing you know, they come, give me more invites. I mean, you walk up to some topless girls, you got to be a moron if you can't open up with, say, hey, you want to come to my party tonight, instead of, what are you going to say? So I learned that from Tom Sawyer, I think it was. He got everybody to paint the fence and he got paid. It was just easy to promote on the beach.
Yeah. I'll never forget, I'm walking down Washington. I turned a corner, and you gave me a flyer that was in a Marlboro box.
Yeah, I got sued by Marlboro for that one.
And I was like, I'm going to this party. And then I look, and he's walking by me. Hey, guys, here. And I'm like, that's Tommy Pooch. He just gave me a flyer. And it put in my head what the hustle.
Yeah.
Well, and then I would teach people that.
I hired all these the Viking girls to rollerblade with my invitations, and they were famous. Guys would chase them to get an invitation, and next thing I know, I get a call, dude, your girls are in Manhattan. They're in the snow. I said, what? Miles, thank you, Miles, Prime 112, he stole my girls and brought them to New York for his nightclub. He stole, and he promised them a piece of the club, so they thought they were club owners. Yeah, right. They came back and worked for me again.
Tommy, one of the most
one
of the most iconic things in Miami is your pizza shop.
Yeah, I had 11 of those and still don't know how to make a pizza. I never made a pizza. Nobody believes that. But, they call me, Mario didn't show up. What do you want me to do? I can't make a pizza.
X-Men.
I'm keeping it that way.
So, guys, I want to ask you a little bit about Miami. It's a lot of Cubans in Miami. What's a figure of speech or slang or a word that you caught on that you maybe used yourself too that Cubans say?
Mañana, tomorrow we'll take care of that.
What about you, Stefan?
Cafecito,
that's a good one. So, again, back to the premise that we started off with, that a lot of people in Miami are coming to the city. They don't know who's who. They don't know who came before them, who laid the foundation. A lot of the leaders that we've been talking to tonight and throughout the podcast and so forth have said, as long as they remember or pay, tribute to the guys who were before, and we honor that, we value that in Miami, and we all know it right away. We can smell it when we meet people and we know people, even if we've known them a long time or not, or if they're in the industry or not. Tommy, how do you see Miami now and that honor coming through?
Well, Grutman is definitely the king of kings.
David.
And David Grutman, and I know that once he did say, Tommy paved the road for me, which meant the world to me.
Amen.
Hearing that from him. And, I always wanted to create proteges. Alan Roth, I think, 10 years, nose to nose, desk to desk. And he's
Ty Entertainment?
Yeah, Ty, Tommy,
Ingrid.
Alan, and Ingrid.
944 magazine. There's a lot. There's a lot of history there.
But I always loved helping the next guy. I never begrudged somebody. They quit on me. Jimmy Franzo, I got a phone call. Rest in peace. I got a phone call from Michael Peter, Solid Gold. He said, I'm sending you to this guy from L.A. His name is Jimmy. Give him a job. I was like, give him a job? What kind of job? So I let him follow me around Le Loft. And he followed me when I went to the printer, and he followed me and next thing I know, he was making invitations of his own for Velvet.
Yeah.
But I don't begrudge that because I never,
You paid it forward.
He was amazing.
Yeah. And I want you to know here live, and for all those who are watching, Tommy, you've been not only an inspiration. I've never heard anybody say anything negative about you.
I'm trying to keep it that way.
and everybody values, and everybody has something positive, powerful to say about you, just like the gentleman said to you a little while ago. And I just want you to know, all of us here are going to agree, you've impacted Miami, all of us, the history. Your contributions made this city. You're part of what made it, the city. You know that? And I know sometimes people don't say that to you, so I think it's important to say that to you and here live too on a podcast so that people know how valuable you are. Because there's people in Miami today, they don't realize the people that came before them, like yourself and all of us, they have what they have because of you, because of us, because the people that paved the way.
I remember Thomas Kramer. Love him or hate him, Thomas Kramer did a lot for Miami Beach.
Yes,
absolutely.
He did a lot.
They've said that a lot today.
He really stepped on his own feet a lot. But he asked me to speak for him in City Hall one day. He was trying to add floors to 404 Washington, or was it South Point?
The Leonard
Tower? Yeah, the Portofino Tower. And I said, we always had palm trees and blue skies, but it took 20 model agencies to bring the developers here, and then the developers started building buildings only because the girls were here. And literally, that's what it took. And that was basically Bruce Oros from ACT Productions.
Bruce
who started the catalog work here for the models.
Absolutely.
And of course Tony Goldman. But it was
Craig Robbins.
Craig Robbins. It was a lot that had to to make that perfect recipe.
And people don't realize we're all a family, a fraternity. We all stick together. We all support each other. And we all come back to each other. And those that come to Miami, visit Miami, enjoy Miami, just know there's a nucleus, a core group of people who made this city what it is through the 80s and 90s, before and after. But it's a family. Yeah. And we all know it. We all read it. We all feel it. We all know it.
Hey, Gary
but Tommy said to me, "Hey, I'm bringing Stefan Morris today."
Yeah, I had to bring
and I'm
him.
like, "Bring him."
Yeah, man. No,
it's like that.
As you said, man. No, Tommy paved the way, and when not only that he was doing it, the way he was doing the class, we learned a lot. The whole style, the elegance.
He doesn't know how many people modeled after you.
I didn't know what I was doing though. So.
And like you created a lane for a whole generation.
You guys mind if he changes the memory clip? We got about 3 minutes, and then we'll go right back into it. Is that
Sounds
fine?
good.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
guys.
Yep.
Sounds good.
We don't have another member. We
Oh, okay.
You've gone 6.5 hours.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so let's do a little shout.
Let's do a shout out. Look at the camera, Tommy.
You have 5 minutes, 11, 10. You have 5 minutes. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
You got to hear what this guy's doing.
Go
lately.
ahead. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
No, man. So essentially, what we've done in Miami through the teachings of legends like Tommy and Michael Capone. I've had some amazing folks that I've met through this industry, right? And there's VIPs that come. They're from all industries, from big pharma, from tech, from real estate, and all these folks. What we saw was like, how do you scale your model? And so, what we were like the original influencers of a city, not just marketing a brand or a product, but a city. And so now I'm fortunate to have built this network, and we've partnered with some amazing folks from E Entertainment and the founder of Constant Contact, Larry Namer, and Alex Stern, and we're building essentially this next generation platform that allows us to really pass that knowledge forward for this new generation. And
let's connect on this.
Yeah, and so it's essentially we're creating this program, and it's a game show format to define the next
digital content creator.
This guy just had 1,000 people at the Sagamore during Basel. I'm trying to get in the front door, and they go, "I'm sorry, Stefan's party." I'm like, wait, I think I know him. I still have his number.
And he's probably like, "What are you guys doing?" That's Tommy Pooch.
But I was so proud of him to see that you're still doing this, man. He's doing it forever. I mean, I kind of didn't want to be the old man in the club anymore, but this guy.
And you have a tight relationship with the Sagamore.
Yeah, no, so we did a lot of hotel stuff, and because I did like the rooftop and the Gansevoort and all these pool parties and these beach clubs that we built over the years. So the hotel spaces and from the Delano inspiration, right? That was where for me getting into the hotel side of things got really interesting. So we
got to connect. There's a lot of stuff we can connect with. All that we're doing with documentaries, the film festival,
definitely,
the podcast, so forth. But what's funny? A lot of people have tried to connect us over time. Do you remember everybody that's been trying to connect us? Like for the last 10 years.
It's divine timing.
Like, Angelo, Stefan. Like, we know each other.
Yeah.
So it's funny that now today Tommy did this.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
All right, so we're good.
Let Tommy do an ID.
Yeah.
I'm Tommy
look at
Pooch.
the camera.
Hey.
I'm Tommy Pooch. You're watching the Miami Made Show.
This is Tommy Pooch, and you're watching the Miami Made Show, where you might get made.
Go ahead, Stefan.
My name is Stefan Morris, and you're watching Miami Made Show.
Keep going. You got 2
Awesome.
minutes. 2:50.
Awesome.
You got
Oh
2
yeah,
minutes
man.
to
So,
execute.
dude, I love what you guys are doing also on the festival side. I think there's a lot of synergies. I'm glad you guys are getting the band.
And
back
here's
together.
Tommy again putting things together.
And he's working on an actual TV show,
That's what we were talking about the last time we spoke about a few years back.
Yeah. So essentially, we're building this. It's with a massive scale, and essentially because of this shift from cable to digital, we're working with the Entertainment and Larry Namer, founder, to essentially create this new platform and work with major streamers to build a global product and really scaling all the learnings that I had for this next generation.
And the great thing is, we're all from Miami. Everybody wants to be Miami.
And this is the headquarters.
This is the spot. We got the
Not
story.
LA.
The Magic City.
We got the people.
Exactly.
Let's do it together,
Miami's
man.
on fire, baby. The whole world's looking at us.
Yeah.
Again.
Let's check out one last shout out to Poochie's Pizza over in downtown.
Yes, right across from the arena.
A Coke and a smile.
Slice and a Coke, never go broke.
Never go broke.
Andy Costa's here. He mentioned you a lot.
Yeah, I picked him up at the airport.
Yeah, he told the story.
I have not met one person ever in the history of Miami that does not mention Tommy Pooch. You just got to shout out. You just got to meet him, and he's going to be with us on a lot of different things that we're doing. You just met Stefan Morris. He's doing some great things. This is what Miami's all about. This is how we love each other, respect each other, honor each other, and pay it forward. Thank you guys for being on the show. You had a good time?
I enjoyed this, man.
Love you, man. Go. Let's do it. Thank you.
We
guys.
hope to see you all in Miami Beach.
Yes.
Yo.
All right.
Throw in some slugs, names,
Okay.
Instagram, whatever.
Just little plugs.
Yeah. So on
little
Instagram, we have
Stefan Morris, just STEPHANMORRIS.
Tommy Pooch 1, and I have an invention coming out, so watch out for camo toe, but I'm not going to tell you what that is.
Use your imagination.
you watch Miami Made
Not
Show,
camel
making
toe.
the South Beach nightlife empire. Check us out.
Bless.
Bless.
Wow.
Awesome.